What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. As you can see in the title, today's topic is all about the Irish rugby team. Now I did a video similar to this a couple months back where I said, have Ireland peaked too soon? Now I personally believe they haven't peaked too soon. I think they're in the right mind frame. They're on fire at the moment. They're doing very well in world rugby, but the true test, I believe, comes at the end of the year when they face the top, the best in the world, the All Blacks. But that brings me to today's question. Can Ireland win the Rugby World Cup? Now we all know their history, and a lot of you guys from Ireland have told me that they are famous for choking just at the end. Quarter-final stage, knocked out by Argentina and all that jazz. Now, don't you think that this team has just is in a better space, a better mindset than they were in the past? Now obviously World Cups put a lot of pressure on the different rugby nations because it's the big one, the big tournament. But that for me brings out the best in teams, and if they're currently on great form, surely this will give them the boost that they need in order to maybe get to that get over that extra hurdle of reaching a semi and a final. Anything is possible, guys, and I'm a big believer in that. And Ireland have come so far. They've had a year to remember. I mean, Grand Slam Six Nations champions, beating England. I mean, that was a highlight because the talk was England were the team that were going to go into this World Cup under Eddie Jones. And England just unfortunately haven't found that form. They may be peaked too soon. But again, I never count out the English because of what Eddie Jones can do. But alas, he hasn't achieved anything just yet. He's got a lot of work to do, and I'll be curious to see how their campaign goes at the end of the year, because they also meet the mighty All Blacks, as well as us again, the Springboks. So Ireland have fantastic rugby players, top of the range rugby players. I mean, Conor Murray, one of the best scrum halves in the world. Johnny Sexton, top class. I mean, he's experienced. He's been in the World Cup situation before. He knows the pressure, and he's experienced. He's been a part of Ireland. He's helped Ireland in a lot of ways. Who can forget when Ireland played France in the first game of the Six Nations? His drop goal won the game, and that led them on to one hell of a Six Nations series, and so well deserved because they just played out of their socks and they dominated. Leinster Rugby obviously also winning the European Championship and the Pro 14, so they were just showing how, again, where rugby in Ireland is currently at, and it's top notch level. But as I said in a previous video, if you want to be the best, you've got to beat the best. And that brings me to the big contest against the All Blacks later on this year. They definitely will meet. If it's a final, there's 90% chance they will meet the All Blacks in the final. But they need to get through the hurdle, because somewhere along the line, they will meet the Springboks. And we all know that contest has a lot of history in it. South Africa pretty much have dominated over the years, but where Irish rugby is at the moment, you can never, ever write this team off again, because they beat us with that world record defeat. Who can forget? Just last year, they beat the All Blacks in America. Yes, I know, a few years ago, but they still did it. They broke a streak that would have taken the All Blacks into history. They have won, obviously, the Grand Slam. They beat Australia in their home turf, first time in many years. Obviously Australia gave them some competition, but at the end of the day they made history and they won. And this year they earned number 2 in the world, which is outstanding. And they have earned it and are rightly number 2. They have just dominated the Northern Hemisphere in all aspects, and they've honestly earned it because they've just played well. Joe Schmidt has really taken this team to another level. He's brought them their own. The camaraderie within the Irish camp is just brilliant. You can see it, you saw it in the Six Nations, how they just gelled. They worked like a team. They didn't panic. And again, you've got to, for Joe Schmidt will know this, you've got to play 85 minutes of rugby against the All Blacks, and that is the real test. Because we all know, we saw it last weekend when South Africa beat the All Blacks. That game went on to 82.5 minutes. The second half went over 40 minutes. They played, cheapers, 86, 87, 88 minutes of rugby, which is truly remarkable. So you've got to be at the right fitness levels. Now, obviously, Ireland's been on a break since the Six Nations, and in just 3 months' time, we're going to hit the November internationals, which is really going to be amazing. Actually, less than 3 months, because that will be the test where the All Blacks meet Ireland in Dublin, which is going to be an incredible game. Now, the All Blacks obviously had a rough weekend last weekend, but the one thing's for sure, this team will be back. They're playing the Argentine, and then they're going to play the Springboks. So they've got 2 hectic games coming up, and if they finish off with a bang, they're going to go into the November internationals confident. However, if they do end up losing to South Africa in Pretoria, they're going to also be just as angry, because they're going to want to fight back. So either way, the Irish rugby team is going to have a very tough All Black team that are going to be hungry for defeat. And they're also going to want to silence the critics, because a lot of people are talking. You've now got a new top in the Northern Hemisphere, that is Ireland. The top in the Southern Hemisphere is, at this point that I'm making this video, the All Blacks. So it's the best of the best, and who is the top in the world? Well, we're going to have to wait and see in the World Cup in the end of the year. Now, a lot are saying, okay, well, they're not going to take it too seriously because it's just ahead of the World Cup. But for me, rubbish. Take it seriously. This is a huge game. If you can have one up on the All Blacks going into a World Cup, you're going to have confidence. If you get smashed 57-0 like the Springboks did just last year, you not got confidence. You need to have that confidence going into win. However, if the All Blacks beat or lose, let's say they lose to Ireland at the end of the year, they are going to know how they played. They're going to work on the strategies. They're going to come back stronger, and they're going to be ready for the World Cup. Because let's face it, I think at this rate, if they beat the Springboks and go on to the finals, they will probably make the All Blacks, unless we see a big upset, which is possible. We've seen it happen before in World Cup rugby. So it's going to be epic. So they're going to remember that last time they either lost or they won. They're going to know Ireland, how they played. They're still going to watch them in the Six Nations. I think Rugby Championship's going to be reduced, so Joe might not have as much time to analyse the All Blacks, but he will have time. And that is the important thing, time to analyse what the strategies are. These 2 rugby nations have incredible coaches. I mean, Steve Hansen, we know his history. It's amazing. What he's done with the All Blacks is truly remarkable. Joe Schmidt, where he's turned this Irish team into a world championship possibility of a world championship team. A Grand Slam champion. Now, I read something today that they say if you win the Grand Slam and all that stuff, you've got that confidence of feeling World Cup glory maybe just be around the corner. That is possible, but at the rate it's gone, New Zealand's dominated the past 2, which has been epic. Then it was South Africa. England only had it in 2003, so that World Cup is hungry for someone in the Northern Hemisphere to take it. Could it be England? Could it be Ireland? I think Ireland have the potential to go all the way to the final and give the All Blacks a run for their money. However, I just don't feel that they are there yet to win the World Cup. Now, don't get me wrong. I know this team. I've got so much respect for this team. Majority of my subscribers are from Ireland. Well, not majority, but a lot of them are, and they know the respect I have for this team, and I know the potential that this team can produce. But it's going to be tough. We all know the strength of the All Blacks. We all know that they're going to be hungry for the hat-trick. And when I say hat-trick 3 in a row, I know they've won 4 World Cup championships. So they're going to be wanting this more than ever. But also, don't call out the Irish to the All Black fans, because they've never tasted a World Cup trophy, so they're going to want it just as much, and they're going to be just as passionate. So, can Ireland win the Rugby World Cup in Japan in 2019? They can, but I just don't think they will. unfortunately. And when I say unfortunately, I mean it'll be great to see a new World Cup champion, but the All Blacks are just in another league. Yes, they lost last weekend, but that doesn't mean they are going to lose every other game after it. This team is clever, this team is smart, and they know how to come back and fight. Never count out the All Blacks. So it's going to be an interesting World Cup game. World Cup tournament. It's going to be probably one of the best. But Ireland need to get past the All Blacks in November. If they can get past the All Blacks in November, maybe then it's possible. But it's a long way to go. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section down below. Answer the poll above. Do you think Ireland has what it takes to win the Rugby World Cup? Interested to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below, and let me know. That's going to do it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Something different, giving a different perspective, bringing some of the World Cup in as well. If you have any suggestions for World Cup videos, let me know in the comment section down below, because everyone seems to be talking about it in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Give it a like, hit that subscribe button if you're new, and I'll see you guys real soon for another video. Stay safe and never give up. Cheers.